Okay, we have some map questions for the aquarium fundraiser passage here. Let's take a look at these. The first one comes from the portion of the passage where the speaker says the following.
You will be located at the 2 tables in front of the beach pavilion. The one on the left is the ticket collection stand.
Okay, so ticket collection stand. Remember that spelling is important for these. None of these words should be too challenging to spell except possibly collection there, if you weren't sure how to spell that. You may also have had difficulty hearing the word stand. The speaker is speaking quickly, and so that's something you'd have to gather and understand from the context of what she's talking about. These ticket booths, ticket collection stands, these are things you would find at a carnival or a fair, and that's the word she uses for that table that's up in the front and to the left. The speaker uses a different word for number 15. Here's what she says.
The one on the right is the ticket sales booth.
Okay, the ticket sales booth. All right, we've got the ticket collection stand on the left. These are for people who already bought tickets. And on the right, we have the ticket sales booth. If you didn't hear those exact words, she does talk about both of those tables a little bit, and that might be something that you could possibly guess that she's talking about a place to buy tickets, so ticket sales booth, if you didn't quite hear those exact words there. Question 16 comes from a longer portion of the passage. Let's listen to that and then discuss the answer.
There will be 3 information centers placed at each end of the Great Hall, and of course one inside the entrance to the pavilion. It's just inside the front door to the... let me confirm this. Yes, it will be to the left after you enter.
Okay, so here is where one of these answers comes a little bit slowly. The speaker has to look at her map, I guess. She's looking to try to confirm where this thing is. Now, we know that there are 3 information centers, and 2 of them are labeled for you already. So you need to find those and then confirm on your map where she's describing. All right, so we've got 2 at either end, at both ends of the Great Hall, and 1 inside the entrance to the pavilion. So as we look at the map here, we see the one over here, the information center there. We've got a second one over here. These are the 2 she describes in the Great Hall. That means number 16 must be here. Okay, it is at the entrance in the pavilion, and she confirms then by looking at her own map. She says it's to the left after you enter. All right, so somebody coming into the pavilion would go through the door. That's the entrance. And if they went left, that's where they'd find an information center. Number 17 then. The correct answer is game area. This is something she describes as being located along the wall facing the bay in the Great Hall. Let's hear where she says that.
Notice how the game area is located along the wall facing the bay in the Great Hall.
Okay, to help you with this one, you would have to hear, of course, the description of game area, and you locate it there and you confirm that it's correct by noticing where the bay is. Okay, it is in the side of the Great Hall facing the bay. Okay, so this would be the only side that faces the bay, that faces out directly towards it. If we had a window here, you could see the bay from that window. Okay, so this is the main clue that you have the correct answer here, and then what you'd have to hear is the words game area. Okay, question number 18. We've got this area up here that we need to listen for. Another longer part of the passage. Let's listen to where the speaker discusses the answer.
There are 2 places to find food. One is in the pavilion. Let me see. Yes, it's near the information booth. The other, the food court, is at the back corner of the Great Hall, on the same end as the main stage. No, that's not right. Excuse me. It's on the same end of the Great Hall as the game area.
Okay, now this one could be tough to get the right answer because maybe you didn't hear the speaker say the common phrase that we use to describe this kind of area, which is called a food court. All right, we have, I think, a fairly easy description of how to find it. She says that one is in the pavilion. Okay, so we've got that one here. That's a place to get food. And the other one is in the Great Hall. At first, she says it's by the main stage, which is not something that's labeled for you. Okay, so that could have maybe caused confusion. But then she corrects herself and says that it's on the same end of the Great Hall as the game area. All right, so if we're talking about this end here, they are both at the same end as each other in this Great Hall. So finding it, I hope, was fairly simple, and then hopefully you were able to catch both words there, food court, that you needed for the correct answer. Now is where we get to the main stage. The speaker already said main stage earlier, but she was misspeaking. She provided sort of the wrong directions to the food court at first, and then we get a full description of the main stage, which is up here. So she'll say that word, say that phrase, main stage, and then she'll describe how to find it. Let's listen to that.
The main stage is on the other end of the Great Hall. You see it directly in front of you as you enter the hall from the pavilion.
Okay, so the hall entrance is a major clue for you here. The hall entrance is here, and as you enter the Great Hall, okay, from the pavilion, go through that entrance, it's something that you see in front of you. All right, so that's your main clue. And then you have to be able to hear the words main stage and write them down as your answer to get the points for that question. Let's finish up this set of questions with number 20. The speaker talks about the alley in the back. This is behind the kitchen where the trash is located. If you weren't familiar with the word bin, then that could make this answer a little tricky, but hopefully you caught that and you're able to supply that answer here. Here's where she says trash bins in the passage.
Please also note that there are trash bins located just behind the kitchen in the pavilion.
Okay, so there you had it. Again, I think locating number 10 obviously is the last one there. Hearing the speaker say trash bins and knowing what those are and that that is in fact two separate words is what the IELTS is testing you on. It is testing your knowledge of that vocabulary related to this pavilion and Great Hall location. These would be, all of them, common words that you would find in a building or in one of these kind of event centers. So that's the kind of vocabulary they're testing in this kind of passage. Okay, so those were our map questions for the aquarium fundraiser passage.